The Witcher 4 looks absolutely incredible. So it starts off by showing off what you think is a cinematic trailer, but it's actually not. It's an actual cutscene in the game, which just looks absolutely insane. Like, you'd think it is a cinematic trailer, but it's not. And it's already like giving the Witcher vibes. And you'll notice straight after the cutscene it will sort of like smoothly transition into the gameplay, which is like a really good feature because, you know, it just makes it that more immersive. The first thing they pretty much show off is like the nature in the game, the scenery and the world of The Witcher 4. And you just know that the views are going to be amazing when you're exploring and looking around in the world, because honestly the scenery in The Witcher 4 just looks beautiful and gorgeous. Like, you'd be wanting to explore and just look at the views in the background. Like, I know in The Witcher 3 there wasn't a lot to explore, but when you did, it was amazing because they had all this like beautiful scenery that you could look at. And can you imagine doing this in The Witcher 4? Like, the scenery just looks amazing. Just hopefully in The Witcher 4 they'll add like more stuff to do and more places to explore, because honestly I would want to keep looking at the scenery all the time. They've also added now that Ciri has her own horse, pretty much like Geralt did with Roach, but it might be a bit weird saying a different name to begin with. You'd probably want to still say Roach. Then they focus on Ciri going through this like small little fishing town, which looks phenomenal. Honestly, like, it's so busy, which was the first thing I noticed, which is good. You know, it's like how it was back in the day in the medieval times where everyone out was on the street and these like performances are going on. And I also liked when Ciri like walked through the town and like it was so interactive. Like, people would like bump into her, people would keep looking at her, they'd spit at her. Like, it looks like there's always a lot going on in the town. And I noticed as well when they did like the performance, like it's not always on, so I feel like every time you go to the town something different will be happening, different times of the day. So every time you visit, something like different is going to keep happening, so it's not the same every time you go, which is just really good. And it's just so realistic. And they also just added so much details in the village itself. Like, you saw like people buying fish at the market, you know, people selling stuff, so you can just see all these NPCs interacting with each other. Then you saw like a guy getting kicked out of like the pub, and they mentioned like Gwent, so you know you can guarantee there's going to be Gwent again in The Witcher 4, which is honestly amazing because the amount of Gwent I played in The Witcher 3, and then I went on to play the card game Gwent, which they released separately, like so much. Then you notice towards the end they play a bit of music, and honestly it sounds so good. It just sounds like the typical Witcher music which you'd find in the game.
Onward, Kelby. We've worked.
And I also saw some reactions online after the trailer, and people were saying like Ciri looks a lot better in this than she did in the cinematic trailer. And I don't know, I think she looks pretty much really similar, to be honest. They might have changed a few things, but you know, in the cinematic trailers they always look different anyway, you know, like Geralt did in the cinematic trailers than he did in the game. So going by what I've saw about The Witcher 4, honestly it looks like the perfect Witcher. Everything they've added, like the music, the scenery, the little town, the NPCs, it's just like your typical Witcher game. And I know some people aren't happy with that it's Ciri being the Witcher, the main protagonist, and not Geralt. I don't care about that, you know, I was expecting it to be Ciri anyway. But so far, to me, it looks like it's going to be the most immersive game there is. But unfortunately, it's probably going to take a while before it's released. It's going to be at least 2027, I think, anyway, but it could even be longer. But you know, I'm actually fine with waiting, especially if it's like what they've shown today, to be honest. It just looks, as I said, the perfect Witcher game, and I really can't wait to play it. That was pretty much my reaction and opinion on everything that they've shown. You know, what are your thoughts about it? Do you like everything they've shown, or are you a bit disappointed? Just let me know your thoughts.
Onward, Kelby. We've worked.